Hey there, this is Pat Ennis of Ennis Legacy Partners. Welcome to the Exit Readiness Podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Walter Dial, CPA and tax partner at GRF CPAs and Advisors in Bethesda, Maryland. Our mission here on the podcast is to provide you, the business owner, with subject matter expertise on topics pertaining to building transferable or sellable business value and then planning for your eventual exit from the business. We want to help you build a business that's transferable and then exit successfully on your own terms and conditions. Business value and growth are absolutely key to a successful exit and building a business that is transferable or sellable. And in this episode, we're going to discuss how the successful branding of your business can make a huge impact. A lot of you spend a lot of time thinking about branding, or maybe you don't, and maybe you should. But we're going to talk this morning about how it can make a huge impact on your business growth and value. Our topic is your guide to successful branding. And our guest is Liz Johnson, president and principal consultant at Mountain View Marketing. Liz has 41 years of branding, marketing, advertising, public relations experiences, as well as 16 years now of website and social media experience. She's developed and managed more than 1,000 successful marketing and advertising campaigns and 650 effective public relations campaigns, all on time and on budget, I might add, and throughout this region, as well as in other places throughout the United States. Liz founded Mountain View Marketing 18 years ago, and with her team of experts, she provides a full scope, and I mean full scope, of outreach services for businesses of all sizes, such as branding, rebranding, strategic outreach planning, marketing, advertising, public relations, social media, custom WordPress websites, video and television commercials. I told you it was a full scope. Content for all platforms and media interview training. So she's a busy lady, and so is her team. Prior to founding Mountain View, Liz managed the marketing communications division for an international energy consulting firm where she worked with a $9 million a year budget and staff in 8 countries. So Liz, it's always a pleasure to see you. You're one of the happiest people I know. One of the reasons that we were looking forward to having you with us today. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Pat, and thank you very much for having me today. It's really a pleasure to be here, and I look forward to sharing my insight on branding as a successful business tool with your viewers.
Liz, let's go ahead and get started with what should be a pretty easy question. What is your brand?
Your brand, a successful brand, is 3 things. It's engaging, effective, and consistent. Your brand is your known identity as a company, and it's the essence of what your company stands for. Your brand represents what your clients, prospective clients, business colleagues, and business organizations think of when they hear your brand name. It's important to remember that your brand is your promise to your clients and prospective clients regarding what you do and why it's of specific value to them. Your brand is the business growth tool that drives your clients and prospective clients to want your products and services rather than just need those products and services. And an important component of your brand is the ability to connect your company on an emotional level with the marketplace. Connecting on an emotional level is very, very important.
That's a good takeaway for you, Walter, just to connect on an emotional level.
I kind of pride myself on that.
And
My ability to do that.
in your personal brand.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Liz, great. Okay, so then what would be the role? You mentioned that, well, I think you've started to answer this next question, haven't you? My question was going to be, what is the role of your brand, externally as well as internally?
Absolutely. Your brand has a powerful role, both externally and internally. Externally, your brand builds trust and credibility. and it builds and strengthens your reputation in the marketplace. It attracts new clients as well as retains existing clients. On the internal side, your brand attracts top quality employees, and it also attracts exceptional business collaborative partners, people who can work with you to help your business grow and thrive. Your brand creates corporate unity, and it provides and validates your company's mission to your team. So it has a very important role externally as well as internally.
Yeah, follow-up question to that, Liz. You know, we talk a lot about when we're working with our clients to help them build the value of their business and their and grow their business and for successful exit. We talk a lot about core values and how core values lead the decision making regarding growth and management, but also how an owner is eventually going to leave or exit their business. What's important to them? What are their goals? What are their values? Would you say that an owner's core values play into or play a role in regard to the development of their brand?
Absolutely. The foundation of every successful brand, without any exception, are the company's value propositions. And those answer 4 questions. Why choose your company? What sets you apart from the competition? What unique assets do you provide to your clients? And what unique assets do you provide to the community? That 4th question is the giving back component, and that has become increasingly more important over the last 5 years. 5 years ago, your giving back component carried a 30% decision-making weight in purchases of services and products. Today, it carries an 80% decision-making rate, which is profound. Many companies have a giving back component to their business, but they don't showcase it in their branding. And that results in a lost opportunity cost and lost business growth, because today it's a top priority for people to support businesses that support the local and regional community. So whether your company volunteers as a team, you discount your rates, you donate your funds to an organization, a nonprofit, however you serve your community, it's very important that that's a set of value propositions that's woven visually and verbally into your brand. So answering those 4 value proposition questions and weaving those answers visually and verbally into your brand is what generates target market penetration and drives vibrant and sustainable growth. There are other components of your brand that are important to include as well. Your logo is one. Your logo should be clean, streamlined, and very uncomplicated. Your tagline, ideally for maximum effectiveness, should be 5 words or less. And this is all statistically proven. Your personality, tone, and voice of your company are very important, and that needs to be very specific and very consistent. Some firms are very formal, very professional. Other firms are very relaxed and very casual. Whatever works best for your brand is fine, but you want to make sure that that personality, tone, and voice are consistent on all of your platforms and in all of your touch points with the marketplace. Many people don't realize that your business's goals and objectives are part of your brand, but indeed they are. You need to be looking at what you're hoping to achieve with your business and making sure that you're looking at your brand as not only something to put out there, but as a business growth tool. So that perspective is important. Your font and typeface are important components of your brand. If you have a state-of-the-art, leading-edge, high-tech firm, you absolutely want a sans serif font, which would be Calibri. That's an example. If you have a more traditional business, you'll see this with many long established law firms and so forth, then a serif font would be a good choice. And something like that would be Times Roman. Color is an incredibly important component of your brand. I have a 1,000-page study in my office on the subliminal value of color in branding. And the effect it has on your clients and your prospects is more significant than you may ever realize. And I was going to run through just a few examples of that if you'd like, as far as what colors mean.
Yeah, I like to think of myself as kind of artsy. And so this whole color piece actually fascinates me. So if you wouldn't mind doing it, if for nobody else but for me, Liz.
I'd be glad to. And it really is fascinating. And we have actually helped clients accelerate their growth through selecting a proper branding color palette. It's amazing the power it has. 95% of the top 100 brands use only 1 or 2 branding colors. When you begin to use more than 2 colors in your branding palette, it starts to give your company more of a carnival-like experience. So you want to avoid that at all costs. Understanding your clients' and prospects' response to color can increase the effectiveness of your ads, your website, your social media, your logo, your collateral significantly. So you want to make sure that you know the meaning of color and how it resonates with your target market, because it does drive the success of your business. Red is an example. It's an action color. It conveys power, energy, boldness, strength, and courage. It encourages prospects to take action, and statistically, red has been proven to drive consumers to make a product or a service purchase. So it's no coincidence that Coca-Cola's branding color and only branding color is red, because it drives the purchase of Coke products. Blue is the most universally favored color of all. It conveys knowledge, expertise, authority, trustworthiness, loyalty, dependability, responsibility, and security. Blue is subliminally associated with integrity, and it conveys a message of stability and inspires trust. And blue has actually been proven to build and accelerate client loyalty. So that's powerful. JP Morgan, LinkedIn, Ford, Pepsi, Walmart, all channel the power of blue. It's also important to note that within a specific color, different shades are better choices for different businesses. And green is an example of that. Dark green is an excellent choice for banks, financial institutions, investment firms, because it subliminally conveys wealth and money. Lighter green, on the other hand, is an excellent choice to promote health and healing, natural, safe, organic products, protecting the environment. Animal Planet, Tropicana, BP, Holiday Inn all use green in their brands.
Guinness Legacy Partner.
Yes. Some colors resonate more with one gender than another. Brown is an example of that. Brown really resonates very, very effectively with men and not at all well with women. Brown conveys strength, practicality, reliability, durability, maturity, comfort, and earthiness. And that resonates very, very strongly with men. UPS even goes so far as to use brown in their slogan, "What can brown do for you?" Brown doesn't resonate well at all with women. So it's really important to define the characteristics and components of your brand and what you want to convey, and then choose the color that conveys those brand promises and delivers your message effectively. You need to understand that color subliminally influences your clients and your prospects and how they make decisions. It's a key component to brand identity. So you want to make sure that you're choosing wisely and putting the power of color to work for your brand. Very important.
Yeah, so Liz, clearly then there's a need for thoughtful consideration of colors, and you can make mistakes, of course, with whatever colors you're using for your brand. What are some other common branding mistakes that should be avoided that you can share with the listeners today?
Sure. I think it's just as important to know what not to do as what to do in business. I think that's critical. The first mistake that we often see is a business that doesn't have a clear understanding, a thorough and complete understanding of what their brand stands for. And it's so important that you're very clear and drilled down on that internally so that you can reflect that externally. The next mistake is not clearly conveying what your brand stands for in the marketplace, assuming that the marketplace will connect the dots and make the connections. That's a very poor assumption to make. You want to make sure that you are really as clear as you can be with what your brand stands for. The next mistake that we see, and we see it primarily with small businesses, is tweaking or changing your brand in the marketplace once you've rolled it out. That's a huge mistake. It dilutes the power of your brand significantly when you do that. We've seen companies roll their brand out and then they decide to change their colors a little bit, revise their tagline, make some changes to their logo. That is not a good idea. There is a lost opportunity cost with doing that. It's far better to brand, roll it out, and if at some point you decide you need to make some changes, then create a rebrand and roll that out. But you don't want to have it revised while it's out in the marketplace. That's a huge mistake. Many people don't think of responsiveness as being a part of their brand, both internal and external responsiveness. But that is a very important component of your brand. Being responsive to your clients, your prospects, your team members, your colleagues, it drives trust and fosters business relationships and therefore business growth. So you want to make sure that responsiveness is built into your company's brand. The other mistake that we often see is businesses, especially those who've been established for a while, not investing in promoting and leveraging their brand in the marketplace. The idea that if we build it, they will come. It's very effective in the movies for Field of Dreams. It is not effective at all in business. You want to continue to fuel the branding machine to grow your business. So it's very, very important to do that, to make that an ongoing process, even if you have a highly respected and long-standing business. There are always new prospects, and you need to keep top of mind awareness with the entire target market segment that you want to reach, and you want to continue to leverage your position in the marketplace. So investing on an ongoing basis in your branding is very, very important.
So Liz, is what you've been discussing, would you call that brand strategy, or is brand strategy something separate?
No, it really is part of your brand strategy. Creating and developing your brand is an important part of an effective brand strategy. And then taking that brand that you've developed very scientifically, very strategically, And leveraging it is also that's the second phase of your branding strategy. So that would involve who, what, when, where, and how you promote your brand in the marketplace. It's always really important to showcase what your business does better than your competition without ever criticizing your competition. You want to just continue to showcase and highlight your assets, your brand assets, and focus on that in the marketplace so that when people see your brand, that's what they think of. Statistically, you have 3 seconds from the time someone sees your website, your social media page, an ad, any kind of communication you provide. You have 3 seconds for that person to decide if they want to engage with you or not. And if they have to spend those precious 3 seconds figuring out who you are and what you do, that's a lost opportunity for you because they are not spending that precious time engaging with your message, which is what you want. So when you have a strong, well-established, well-leveraged brand, they know who you are and what you do and why it's of value to them. And they spend those 3 seconds deciding to engage then with your message. And that's where your ROI escalates and your business growth follows. So that's really, really important.
Liz,
It's also important.
hey, Liz, can you say that one more time? What helps your ROI escalate? Because that's, you know what, that's one of the things that I think business owners that we work with are continually often lack confidence in is there any ROI at all that I'm experiencing? And if so, how's it being measured? How do I measure it on all this time and attention and resources I put into my marketing strategy?
Well, I can tell you, we have a client who came to us after being in business for 6 months. They were doing okay, but not setting the world on fire and not achieving the ROI and the growth they were looking for. And they came to us. We did a brand assessment, and their brand was all wrong for their business, all wrong. I recommended a rebranding. They agreed. We did that, and we helped them grow their business 300% in 14 months.
That's pretty good ROI.
Yes, it is.
I guess that would be easy to measure.
They're thrilled.
But
They're absolutely
all stories are not that dramatic, right? I mean, most of
no,
them.
no, they're not. They're not. But you can often experience a 27% to 48% business growth rate with effective branding, and it's a residual process. If you brand and promote strategically, and you can do it in phases based on what your budget permits. We do that with a lot of our clients. We create a strategic outreach plan. Phase 1 is the critical part. Phase 2 is complementary. Phase 3 is your 3-year plan. And that's very effective because we can work from one phase into the next as a client's budget permits, but we have a strategy, we have an approach to leverage that ROI. Branding is key. We did a rebranding for a company that bought 2 other firms and consolidated. They needed a new brand. They went after their rebranding and the leveraging of their brand. They went from 55 employees to 120 in 18 months, and they increased their profit margin by 48%. So there is a lot of business growth power in branding. The key is to do it strategically and scientifically based. And I can tell you, if your business isn't doing it that way, your competition is. So it's important, very important. Branding is an effective business growth tool, and putting together a customized strategy. There are no cookie cutter approaches to successful branding. It needs to be very customized to the specific target market demographic and to the business and the brand and the goals and objectives. And it's a powerful, powerful tool. And those are just two examples, but it makes a big difference. You know, when I started my career 41 years ago, marketing was a very horizontal activity. I'm dating myself here. You pushed your message out, you hoped it resonated, and people responded. Today, what drives business is circular communication. You reach out, you invite people to engage with you, they reach back, and you begin to build the business relationship through circular communication. Branding is one of the most effective tools to fuel that circular communication.
Okay, good. Walter, did you have any follow-up strategy questions?
You know, a lot of the clients we work with, Pat, I kind of see there's almost like a line, depending on maybe size, where I think it goes back to what you said too about, you know, return on investment. But I think, you know, I'm thinking a lot of my smaller clients, and it would be a challenge to convince them to put, you know, to put money into branding. I don't think they see it. And yet our larger clients, I think, are fully on board because they've, you know, they want to, number one, they've got the funds to do it. And number two, they are seeing the return on investment. But Liz, do you find that with, I mean, do you have a certain size client that you feel is your sweet spot? I mean, are there clients, I mean, I understand that it'd be helpful for any client, but in, you know, from a practical sense, I think our
Right.
smaller clients just aren't going to allocate the budget to this. What, has that been your experience?
Well, we actually, you know, we work for all different size clients in all different verticals. And what we find with, in particular with smaller clients, smaller business clients, is that that phased approach is really their ticket to success, because we can break that out and proceed through those phases very slowly as their budget permits. But the idea is you're doing it strategically, you're building and leveraging the brand, and you're getting the return. I'm also a big believer in thinking outside the box. Not all successful outreach has to be paid outreach. We have a client in Portland who developed a state-of-the-art app, and they invested a tremendous amount in the development of it, more than they anticipated. So they did not have a startup marketing budget. The CEO came to me, wanted to know, is there any possibility of helping them before they could really invest in branding? So I created a completely organic, unpaid strategic outreach marketing plan for them that he and their team implemented. No paid marketing, no paid outreach at all. And they are doing incredibly well. And I'm sure when they're in a position to invest in paid outreach, they'll certainly reach out to us. But there are a lot of things you can do organically without cost, and that's a blessing for small businesses. Lots of innovative ideas. And again, I'm a big believer in thinking outside the box. We've
Yes,
helped
maybe-
clients grow significantly that way.
Liz,
Yeah.
when you refer to paid outreach, are you referring to Google ads, Facebook ads, that kind of thing? Is that what you mean by paid outreach?
Google ads, mobile and online advertising in very targeted channels is extremely effective. When I founded the business 18 years ago, I negotiated deep client discounts on many of the leading outreach channels for mobile and online advertising. And fortunately, they still honor those today. So our clients save a lot of money, and that's especially beneficial. It's always beneficial to all clients, but especially to small business clients, because it makes mobile and online advertising more affordable for them. There are lots of again, outside the box solutions to begin to grow and leverage a brand. And then you can weave organic outreach with paid outreach. I'm more of a supporter of Google Ads. Our webmaster has 3 Google certifications and is really on the pulse of Google. So we see incredible results for our clients, and those are very affordable as long as they're done very effectively. And with his 3 certifications, our clients are very pleased with those results. Mobile and online advertising is huge. Content marketing is a powerful tool. There are 2 newsworthy components of outreach: public relations or press release campaigns and content marketing. And while they don't have promotional content in them, they have tremendous promotional value to clients. And when you do those, which are very affordable to do, you can combine those with some of the paid outreach, the mobile and online ads, the Google ads, social media campaigns, and so forth. So it's you can combine the 2. The big thing, I guess, the big takeaway is to do it strategically and to make sure that you're accessing all the science that goes behind these product and service choice decisions. It's very, very important.
All right, very good. Well, as we come to a close here, and again, thank you for joining us. Is there any great content and great advice for our listeners today? Is there any last minute words of wisdom you would share with us before Walter wraps us up?
Well, if anyone has any additional questions, would like to address those, they can reach out to me at liz@mountainviewmarketingllc.com. And I provide a complimentary consultation. It's not a sales pitch. It's actually 45 minutes of actionable free marketing advice. And I'm happy to do that. I think it's important to share the expertise that I've achieved and the team has achieved over the years. So any questions, any specific issues, I'm happy to address those. You can also reach me by phone at 540-675-1201, and I'm happy to be of help.
Thanks very much, Liz. Thanks for joining us today. This has been very, very interesting and very helpful, I'm sure. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for
Listeners,
having me. Pleasure.
Thank you. Listeners, if you want help in maximizing the value of your business or planning for your eventual exit, you can reach Pat at 301-859-0860, and you can reach me at 301-951-9090. You can also access resources at exitreadiness.com, grfcpa.com, and nslp.com. As always, thanks for listening, and until next time on the Exit Readiness Podcast, this is Walter Dial and Pat Ennis signing off.